welcome to You Had Me At Podcast, where we fall in love with romantic comedies all over again, one decade at a time. I'm Jess Sterling, and of course, I'm joined by my co-host, who always looks pretty in pink, if he would ever wear it, Stuart. Stuart, how are you?
I'm good. I'd make a joke about only wearing pink on Wednesdays, but we record this on Wednesdays, so I'm kind of screwed there.
Yeah. Although we release
Yeah.
it on Fridays, so people wouldn't, technically, I
Yeah,
guess.
sorry, I'm shattering the illusion.
How dare
This is
you?
terrible. Pulling back the curtain. This is not good. This is what happens on a season finale, Jess. I
Mm-hmm.
just lose all semblance of the rules and
Yeah, the
decorum.
rules are out the window. We're chugging along. What is it? We're stumbling across the finish line. That's what I was looking to say.
We're the little engine that could. We think we can. We think we.
We are now Thomas the Train. And we're talking about Pretty in Pink, your 1980s pick. What is this face?
You're
What is
not
this
wrong.
face?
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Yes, it was my pick. But
Yeah.
given some hostile reaction we've had from people, I don't want it attributed to me.
You picked it. I didn't, and here we are.
Wow.
It is a
Merv.
how dare you bring Merv back into this? We got past Merv, okay? We've talked through Merv in therapy
Never.
together. It's
Never.
over. You can't bring back Merv into this argument again. It is a John Hughes movie. Of course, stars Molly Ringwald, John Cryer, Harry Dean Stanton. It's very like Brat Pack John Hughes 80s movie. It felt like something we should cover in terms of getting the full gambit of rom-coms.
Yeah.
And this especially feels like it slots right into that 80s rom-com spot. So yeah, I mean, Stuart, I want to know, I've seen this before, granted decades ago, but this is the first time you've ever watched this movie. What did you think?
Well, on what I've discovered was a rewatch, I have seen this movie.
You've seen this movie? That's hilarious.
But years and years and years ago. And I don't think I saw it the entire way through. Because there was a lot I didn't remember. So I was quite surprised by the ending. And didn't quite know where it's going. But there were some like real key scenes that I do remember, such as like the lip syncing in the record store. The amazing
try a little tenderness. Yeah, classic.
The record store owner, like icon. And also I weirdly just some of the more problematic elements of this, because I think even though I watched this quite a while ago, even then I went, that doesn't quite pass the vibe check. Good podcast fodder though.
Certainly. I feel like in my memory, so my memory of this film, I watched it when I had to be a teenager. I went through a like John Hughes 80s movie kind of moment in my teens. Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles, St. Elmo's Fire, kind of all of them. And I don't know. I recall adoring Ducky when I watched this originally. I don't anymore.
Yeah.
And
what is it about the stalker-like behavior and just the absolute disrespect for a woman's like, personal space that you didn't enjoy, Jess?
Here's the thing. I think when I was that age, I really had a soft spot for the friend who's like secretly in love with their best friend and isn't given a chance because they're not like the cool guy, but they're always there. I really think I had a soft spot. I think he also, let's face it, this movie, the leads are so fucking boring. Like, they're so boring that, like, at the very least, Ducky has personality. So, like, I think at least he's engaging. I think John Cryer really, like, seems to revel in this role of Ducky. And so he has his moments. But when the best parts of the movie are Ducky, who is still like annoying and problematic, and Iona, who is like barely there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem. So I
Yeah.
didn't remember it, or I didn't like it as much as I did when I watched it originally. Still think there are like interesting things to discuss, and like unlike Merv, like at least like the fashion stuff is kind of like fun as like a time capsule. There's like certain things that are interesting. But yeah, it's not that great.
Yeah. I kind of think that it's just an example of a film that's just not aged that great.
Yeah.
Because I think through a more modern lens, I think this film could be an absolute banger with like more compelling leads for one. Obviously, removing quite a few elements that were just not great. But like, I think the dynamic of like looking at like cliques and social hierarchies, class resentment, like those are really like, I mean, still applicable themes, sadly,
Mhm.
but it's kind of like a universal because I don't think it's ever anything that would truly go away. And it was something that was more heightened back in the day. Like, I kind of feel that the sense of classism and like cliques and clique culture and things has kind of dissipated a little bit. Like Mean Girls was a bit of a mockery of it, and I feel like everything I hear from teachers is that that's kind of gone away in the sense of like judgment for the kind of weird kids. Like every kid is weird now. Every kid is their own unicorn in the sense of like they're the star of the show kind of thing. So I kind of feel
Mhm.
like that it's slightly less applicable there, but I still feel like the class elements, particularly with the whole eat the rich kind of notion, is fully still available.
Sure.
And so is kind of possibly rescuable. And so I kind of am a little bit more generous, I think, with my take on it because of that reason. Because I kind of think that the themes are
Sure.
still appropriate and, still around. But yeah, you do have to do a lot of forgiving for what is
Yeah.
some substantial heavy lifting being done by a supporting cast of one.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So I'll do a quick recap in case people didn't check the movie out or didn't revisit the movie, and then we'll kind of dive into it. High school senior Andy, played by Molly Ringwald, of course, lives with her unemployed father, which we will talk about, and makes her own clothes. Naturally, she gets bullied at school for being poor. Her best friend is over the top Ducky, who's also secretly, and I put secretly very much in quotes, in love with her. She works at Trax, which is a record store run by her other friend, seemingly 30 something, quirky Iona, who I just adore, I gotta say.
Hmm.
Everything changes when popular Richie Richardson Blane pops into the record store and eyes up Andy. Who knows why he likes her, but he does. Despite their class differences, he asks her out. It goes horribly when he brings her to his rich friend Steph's party. Steph, played by James Spader, by the way. Um, and all his friends are fucking rude to her. Things get worse when then they go to a club Andy frequents and Ducky is a fucking dick. Now, somehow, this date ends in a really big kiss. And they're in love, question mark, because that's all it takes is one kiss at the end of a pretty fucking bad date. Anyway, Blane asks her to prom, but after Steph gives him a hard time about dating such a trashy low class girl, he doesn't answer her calls and avoids her completely. She tells him off in probably one of the better scenes of the movie and decides to go to prom alone. Meanwhile, Ducky overhears Steph and Blaine's conversation and tries to beat the shit out of Steph because masculinity. When Andy shows up to
Chivalry.
sure. Chivalry is just a nice word for masculinity.
Chivalry timbers. Like, no.
When Andy shows up to prom in a dress she created from Iona's prom dress and a dress her father bought. By the way, she didn't fucking tell Iona she was going to completely destroy this gorgeous dress. Ducky is there to escort her. He tells her Blane showed up alone. And naturally, Blane just does the whole whispering in the ear of, I love you. And of course, she forgives him and they kiss. Big, fat, whatever. That is the end of our film. Stuart, first thing off the bat, I have to ask you is, did you know that the ending was originally different?
What? No.
Yeah.
Was it?
Originally,
How?
yeah. The ending was completely reshot. So originally, Molly Ringwald is Andy is supposed to end up with Ducky. I think they did like test audiences. They did like a test audience and they didn't like it. And so they ended up having to reshoot the ending. And the other thing is Molly Ringwald was like very, very ill on the final day of shooting the original ending.
Oh no.
And so you may have noticed, I'm not sure if you spotted this, Blaine's hair looks very different in the prom scene because the actor had gotten a haircut in between like the end of filming and the reshots. So he's wearing like an auburn looking wig.
Wig watch.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
yeah, apparently John Hughes was unhappy with the ending because he wanted Andy to get together with Ducky, but the studio wanted Andy with Blane. And so apparently he made another film, which I won't name in case you do want to watch it, that had another love triangle. And he wanted Molly Ringwald to be in it, but she did not want to. And apparently Hughes took it very personally. So
What do you mean you don't want to film the exact same film again, despite having filmed that film with two endings?
yeah, yeah.
Oh gosh. I mean, I'm not surprised because audience testing back in the day was a lot more kind of like compelling because it really was like such a big deal. Um,
Mhm.
I'm surprised to read that they actually booed the ending. That's kind of
Yeah.
wild.
And
But like,
interestingly enough, like when so I there was some sort of like 20-year like interview with the three biggest stars,
mhm.
Ducky, Blane, and Andy. And in it, Molly Ringwald was like, yeah, I think her and Blane would have like broken up very soon after, and probably years later, Ducky comes out as gay. Like, I mean, probably he's played by John Cryer, I mean, and I
Here
do
for
think
that. That
that
would be a
that tracks,
good.
right?
That'd be a good like flat like end credit scene or something like that. Just be like cut to them breaking up the next week, and then we get another scene later on, and it's like her getting ready to like get married or something, and then Ducky
Mhm.
comes out, and it's like, oh, they got together, and then it turns out no, best man at the wedding, or chief bridesmaid, kind of honorific, and she's getting married to someone else. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just so surprised that if there was an alternative ending, that the ending wasn't her telling them both to go fuck themselves and
Well, this is the
realizing
80s.
that
We
she's
didn't
just
have,
better than them.
women's rights. Women weren't
This,
allowed to be alone.
it's tragic that
Yeah.
that's not the
Her
case.
entire
Because like,
life is tragic, to be honest.
is it though? Like,
Um, can we talk about the fact that her mom just like up and left the family a few years ago, and seemingly her father has never recovered to the point where
mm,
she has to parent him. And I assume they kind of live off of her part-time job, being that he never works.
yeah, okay, I will concede. Yes, Andy's life is not that great. Had Andy gone with her mother, like if the mother had taken Andy with her, perfect. Because I do not begrudge the mother for leaving him. Like they kind of, I don't know, stress that maybe there's like an element of like mental health going on here,
Yeah.
and like he seems to be like certainly depressed, but then it seems to be a symptom of obviously everything that happened. there. Like they
I
don't really
assumed
like
that it
layer it to be something else beyond that and to be something more complex,
yeah.
right?
I didn't get I mean, I don't know. I guess we don't know for sure. I assumed his issues with, not having a job and not really getting out of bed came up after her mom left, based on the
Ah, okay.
conversation he has with Ducky about like the one person I loved left me. And he never really recovered. But it
Mm,
could be that he had these issues prior to her leaving, and that was part of the reason she left. I guess the bigger question is then like, well, if you're gonna leave and he has all these issues, why are you leaving your daughter with him? Like, think theoretically she would take her daughter with her. But it just feels like no one is really looking out for Andy besides Ducky, who is very immature. Like, he's fun. I think he like energizes a scene that he's in, right? Like, I think Ducky as a character is energetic and fun in a way that
mhm.
like Andy and Blane are not. Um, and so he's fun to have around, but he's also just like so much. Like the setting off the like fire alarm, or like, what are you doing though? Like, why are you doing this to me? It's just so
Yeah,
much.
it's not a good look, and also like he is a full year older than her, right? Like he's in the year above her at school because he's about
No, they're
to.
both seniors.
Okay, so but he was like, why then would she? Oh
He
wait,
was
okay, I
failing
think that's finding it.
school.
He's failing school, but is that just to get her to tutor him?
That's what she's accusing him of. She's accusing
Right,
him of like wanting attention, and it's obvious that he loves her, so he's probably not trying just to get her help. But
got
they're
it.
both seniors about to graduate. They've been friends since they were children. And
Okay,
he's been in love
because
with her, and yeah.
yeah, I think I took that the wrong way. I took it that he was trying to fail so he could spend the next year with her, like to get like
No.
that
No,
additional
she's
year.
also a senior.
Ah, okay, yeah, that makes more sense then, especially while they're going to like prom. Prom is like the end of school thing. Like you don't have a
Depends on
prom
the
every year, do
school.
you?
No, depends on the school. A lot of people senior prom is their like very big prom. In my school, we had junior and senior prom, and junior was the big one. But for this school,
Ah,
senior prom is like the big deal that they're talking about. But
curious.
what I don't understand, shifting a little bit to Blane here, is like they really don't set this up well at all. Like it's like he's like intrigued by her. Like, ooh, who's that
Hmm.
interesting girl with the silly hat and like round glasses? Like he's like it's really strange because we are told that she is both like poor and unattractive. But I know of course played by Molly fucking Ringwald. Like get a
I
grip,
know,
people.
right? Yeah.
But then also we have people like Blane, who's very interested in her, and he's very like a country club, like Richie Richardson. Steph, who's a piece of shit, but obviously is hitting on her in the scene outside the school by the cars. And then Ducky, who's been like in love with her for 15 years. So it doesn't really make sense. And I guess my biggest problem is that they don't set up the Blane romance kind of at all. It's just like he's intrigued by her because she's weird.
Hmm. It's certainly I think a romance that's written by a guy, right? Because it's more like she's an object that he desires rather than her being, having some complexity and him having an attraction that is beyond just, oh look, pretty girl. There's or like oddity that needs to be
Yeah.
kind of examined. I kind of feel like I feel like his character needed more complexity in the sense of like why didn't they have something that they maybe perhaps bonded over, or like I get that they kind of had this contrasting kind of recommendation with the music going on. There was that as a tenuous link, but there was nothing these two had in common except for what appeared to be physical attraction to each other.
That's the thing they have, I think. That's the only
Yeah.
thing they have, and especially like you said, Blane, because Andy has her quirks, right? She likes to make her own clothes. Like I think her bedroom has a lot of personality. She has interesting friends like Iona. I think Blane has no personality at all. Like he is so milk toast. It's painful. He does
Hmm.
nothing. Steph has more personality than him, and he's not the lead. And it just he has nothing. And so, it's made worse again we love an attractive, boring king, right? It's like go off and do nothing. Like I've said this before that I feel like quiet guys often get a reputation of like, oh my God, he's so deep. I wonder what he's thinking
Mysterious.
about. Oh, he's so mysterious. And he's thinking about fucking nothing, dude. Like there's nothing, nothing happening upstairs. But we like to assume that people are having these deep thoughts. And I feel like Blane kind of falls into that category of like, oh, he's so beautiful. He must have these like very deep thoughts. And he's literally thinking about fucking nothing, bro. Like
Mhm.
nothing. And what makes it worse than Stuart is that like then when they do go out on the date, because the whole instant message thing, I don't even know what it was. Let's call it instant message because like this is the 80s fucking
Oh my
DOS
god.
computer shit.
Oh, don't even get me started. I was livid.
It was so funny. Like
Do you
when
know
they
who you are?
actually it's so ridiculous. When they actually do go out, he brings her to a party with his friends who are pieces of shit. Who like
Yeah.
he goes to that school. He knows her and them don't get along. Why the fuck did you bring her there? And like pressure, not just bring her there, but she says she doesn't want to go. He pressures her to go. She relents. She goes. She's having a fucking horrible time. What does he do? Bring her upstairs. Leave. Leave the party.
Yeah. It's such a shame because what they try to do is they try to, I guess, make him more likable by having him be incredibly charming with the whole like hand's gonna stay in here, and then he picks up the beer with like the elbow, and then the chips with like his mouth and stuff like that. Kind of goofy, like kind of charming. I reckon like it could work, and then they completely ruin it by just going upstairs and just sitting awkwardly while their friend's half naked in the room, like about to like make out with a girl. It's like I just nothing about it makes any sense whatsoever. And I it's almost as if, oh, he did that one thing, therefore we get to forgive every like bad thing that's happened to lead us here and everything bad that he does after this because he made a little joke and he made her smile once. And it's like it don't work like that. And it's just so supremely pig-headed as well to like completely not recognize that she's so uncomfortable, and it's just the worst situation. And like even he recognizes by saying like, oh yeah, like I hang out with some real like so and so, I can't remember the exact quote, but he acknowledges that his friend's a piece of shit. So why does he stay? I don't
He
understand
stays.
it.
Like at the very least, I think her bringing him to the club, she doesn't know Ducky is even going to be there. In fact, she probably assumes he's not going to be there because he's never been let in there in his
Never
life.
allowed in. Yeah.
So that makes sense to me. She doesn't expect him to be a complete fucking dick. Now, obviously, like, there was the whole scene earlier when she originally goes out with him and Ducky's like, I lost all respect for you, blah, blah, blah. Which, like, again, fucking red flag city. Like, where's the green flag? Where's a single fucking green flag?
Hmm.
But it just I don't understand how we go from terrible party that Blane's friend has to really awful experience at the club when Ducky's a dick to Andy not wanting Blane to drive her home because she's ashamed that she's so poor and he's not to we're making out and we're in love. How did we get here? Like, I don't know how we arrived here. I don't know how we arrived at we're in love beyond we're 16 and fucking stupid. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, are they just dumb and young? And is that what
Well,
it is?
they are young, yeah, and it's that I guess it really does capture that kind of stupidity of young romance of just oh, I'm walking into a terrible situation here of like you know an emotional situation that I'm completely not prepared to face because kiss. It's just stupid teenage brains that just can't comprehend their own well-being, and I but then I guess it does speak to the whole nature of, teenage expectation, the whole element, I guess, of like, well, he's better than me in terms of like having money. Like she clearly has, like she's not turned off by the money aspect. Like she is the people, but she's not by the money. It seems like 'cause she talks about it when she first raised it behind it. She's like, "Oh, what do you feel if I was dating, a well-off guy?" kind of thing. It doesn't seem to be something that she is repulsed by. So I think that it's treated as aspirational, at least in the writing. And I don't think it should be, but I think that's what they're trying to go for. Like it's meant to be that, oh, we can overcome the fact that you're poor. I don't care. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, he's now so desirable because he's willing to overlook that aspect. It is, yeah, it's exactly what you said. It's just so baffling, the choices, and it's confusing as to like why and what
Yeah.
they're really pitching. Ugh.
It's just kind of funny because I feel like if we're looking at like the class difference romance, we can look at The Breakfast Club, which is came out a year earlier, also by John Hughes, that just did it so much better. Like
Yeah.
it is just kind of funny. I don't know. I didn't understand how suddenly they were in love. He asks her to prom. Okay, great. One conversation with Steph, and all of that is out the window basically because it's like, well, either you can have your friends or you can have that trash. And it's like, well, okay. So Blane does, and this I will say at least felt in line with his character of like being a shithead and having just like can't even have the audacity. He's just like, oh, I'm just so frustrated. He doesn't say anything. He just like avoids her. He quiet quits this relationship. He just
Hmm.
ghosts her, doesn't answer the phone, doesn't call her back. It's very obvious his parents don't even know who she is because,
Yeah.
again, this was before cell phones and everything. Like, he just avoids her. And that's at the very least, we got the scene in the hallway where she is like, "You're a liar." Ah! Because that was a little cathartic, I suppose.
Yeah. I enjoyed that. I was like, yeah, you tell him. But also, I mean, like,
Yeah.
some better choices wouldn't have got me in this situation, or some awareness, I think, and maybe a sense of self worth for a lot of the kind of red flags that he was presenting being spotted. But again, I put that down to just teenage stupidity in the sense of like that kind of blinker of just I'm in love, and I'm not going to see all the problems that are going on. I Yeah, it's so conflicting for me because in the one hand I'm like, yeah, this really does capture that real teenage feeling of just, oh, the whole world is so important based on who I choose and love. Like Ducky's whole thing, like when he's there alone in her room and he's like, oh, I love her so much. Like, it's a crush. You'll get over it.
Yeah.
Like, you'll move on kind of thing. So it captures that sense really well. But then objectively, when you do look at it, I'm just like, I don't want to buy into this belief that teenagers are that fucking dumb. Um,
Yeah.
ugh, yeah.
It does give the vibe of high school. Like, I will say, like, the fighting and the bullying and
Mm,
like the intensity of the feelings that you feel romantically, right? Like all of those they are feel in general, I guess. All of those things feel accurate. It's just that I don't finish the movie wanting her to be with any of these people.
yeah.
I want her to go fuck around and hang out with Iona, please, God. Like, also,
Yeah.
I don't know that I liked the messaging with Iona either, where she like ends up really liking a guy and wears a blazer because of it. And it's like,
Yeah.
girly pop, go off with your spiky hair. Like, it's fucking weird, but it's original, like it just I don't know. I just didn't think the messaging really held up. And
It's
again,
well.
like, yeah,
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say since you point out like kind of the change of the ending and stuff, I kind of looked into it and like Molly Ringwald was like expressed some reservation at the ending and said that it's not like a real Cinderella story to have her get with Ducky. And I think that's probably the framing of it is they kind of think that getting with the rich guy is the win.
yeah,
And I think that's why we're really jarred by this because
yeah,
that's not it. That's not the like. Really, it should be that she kind of realizes. that none of these guys are good for her. That
Yeah.
she is just better, like seeing what else is out there,
I wouldn't mind her
or being
dancing with
content.
Ducky, like, at the dance, but, like, not in a
Yeah,
romantic way, like, to an upbeat song, you know? I
yeah.
think a lot of it, if you ask me, I think some of it, at least, is in part because so Molly Ringwald, number 1, was involved in the casting process in terms of picking the Blane. Originally, they wanted him to be hunkier, bigger, kind of more jockey looking. That's not who Blane is, right? Like Blane is a more like
Mm,
polished, a more petite guy, I would say. And she said, "Well, that's the kind of guy I would fall in love with. I think we should have him instead." On
interesting.
top of that, Molly Ringwald and Andrew McCarthy, who plays Blane, are both like fairly reserved people, I guess. And
Hmm.
so John Cryer is kind of the opposite. He is outgoing, outlandish, very loud and boisterous. And he felt like they did not like him, like that they didn't really get along well. And I do
Oh.
feel like that is part of how I feel like that informs the actors' opinions on the ending of like who Andy should end up with. Like if you're like not really enjoying acting against someone, you're probably not going
Hmm.
to be like pulling for them to end up together in the end. Um I don't know. Maybe it doesn't, but it does feel like I mean, Ducky just feels very immature. Um,
Yeah.
I feel Ducky feels immature in the way that he's like just so over the top and like outlandish in everything he does, and he's so reactionary with his feelings. But Blane feels immature emotionally in that like
Yeah, yeah.
he'll let his friends dictate who he can go out with.
Hmm. Which is again speaks to the whole immaturity and of teenagers thinking that the be all and end all is popularity and friendship.
Yeah.
Like I think that's like a very common theme back in the 80s at the very least. Like I mean, it is the Breakfast Club, right? Like it's all about that kind of like perception of you in the context of high school and things. I guess I don't know, like with Ducky and the immaturity. Do you ever watch Sister Sister?
Of
Do you
course
remember
I did.
Roger? It's like Roger,
Yeah.
like the neighbor that's like kind of always like making the jokes and stuff, is always dismissive, but occasionally comes out with a real gem of just, loyalty and
Yeah.
protectiveness and stuff like that. But I think the difference with that is that Roger was like younger, so it's much more easy to
Right.
dismiss. Whereas
Right.
when they're about the same age, it's a weird vibe.
He rides
Um,
past her house on his bike 100 times a day.
yeah.
That's too much.
The phone calls as well, the
That was
messages.
so cringy. It was
Oh.
so cringy. It's just too much. And like, listen, if Ducky was a real person, I would hope that like when he got a little older, he would realize like that was not right. Like that was too much
Mhm.
for me to be doing. And it's obviously cares, right, about Andy, but it's just like and it's sweet him showing up at the prom for her. Like all of that is sweet, but it's also like I don't know. Does he make it up in the end by being like, "Hey, by the way, Blane showed up here alone. Like, I'll get it if you want to go be with him." Like, you know, one
I
self
don't think
respect, I
that's
suppose.
it's not enough redemption though. Like I kind of feel
Yeah.
like for him to have full redemption, it's not just giving up the girl and realizing and I don't know. I think as well it's a bad choice because obviously I don't think that her and Plane should be together. But
Yeah.
like I don't think that's enough to really redeem Ducky. Like what would have been great for like Ducky's character arc is if he came to this realization that yeah, he has a crush on her, but he has to respect her wishes and move on from it. And like maybe it's like I don't know. Maybe if in being distraught about the whole Blane thing and stuff, she does the whole I don't know, you know, hugs Ducky and maybe there's a lingering moment. And he's like, no, not like this. we're not gonna have the
Mhm.
emotional kiss that you regret or whatever like that. And it's like or I don't know, like oh, that's clunky. I don't know. I just feel like he could have had something of a realization about himself that would have made that him pointing out that Blaine was here by himself just be a bit more impactful. I think if it's
Mhm.
just in the moment of just, oh, give her up, like it's too fleeting. It's not like a
Yeah.
substantial change that's taken effect. Feels like possibly a poor decision in the moment, kind of thing. So yeah, nothing really lands that well, and that's I think is the problem. Is that yeah, everything. I kind of just want everything to just be a little neater in terms of why people are doing what they're doing, and it matching up obviously with our sense of morality in like a more modern day setting of just yeah, maybe let's not make it so that the guy who's rich is the ultimate catch and that's the happy ending.
Yeah.
um yeah, I would just like all these people to just realize maybe they're better off with other people or perhaps even being alone and that being okay. I think that would be
Yeah.
a much nicer message, which is probably the antithesis of what a rom-com should be.
Sure.
But I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we talk about some of our stuff here? Should we say let's transition over. You had me at the most romantic moment or best grand gesture. This is a tough one. I don't think anything Blane does is enough for me. I don't even think his like it's not even an apology is the thing. When he whispers in her ear, it
Ugh.
doesn't feel like enough. He says, "You said you couldn't be with someone who didn't believe in you. Well, I believed in you. I just didn't believe in me. I love you always." That's nothing. That's nothing to me. There's no I'm sorry. There's no I was an asshole. Nothing. I don't think it's enough for me.
Mm,
I feel like part of me wants to pick the toxic masculinity of Ducky beating the shit out of Steph. But I like Ducky showing up at the prom
yeah.
for Andy. I don't know that anything beats that because it feels selfless. Um and I thought his outfit was like cute. I don't know. I there's not a ton to pick from here, people.
Yeah, it really is rough. Yeah, I feel like I shouldn't, but I'm gonna pick Ducky going after Steph and like trying to beat him up because
Yeah.
Trump's awful. Um, and I think it's less of. I mean, it was, I guess, in a way, a romantic gesture because he's kind of sticking up for the woman he
Yeah.
loves, kind of
He's
thing.
defending her honor.
But I'm gonna give it more points for he tried to take a swing at the rich. Go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Eat the rich. Beat
Oh,
James
it's
Spader.
so.
He's the fucking lizard king.
I tell you one thing, like James Spader. When I saw the cast list when I was watching this, and then saw it, I was like, oh yeah, James Spader. Oh, okay, he looks. Yeah, I see that. Then I realized Blane is not James Spader. They look so similar.
Do they?
But then
I
when
don't
James
know.
when James Spader turns up,
You're
you're
like,
like,
oh
oh,
yeah, that's him.
that's him. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's him. He's blonde.
But
That's
yeah,
right.
for
Yeah.
the first part of it, I was like, yeah, that's James Spader. Yeah, he
He
looks a
originally,
little
I
different
guess
when he was
they
younger.
they wanted him for Blane, I think, but he was like, nah, I
Oh,
want to be the villain. I want to be Steph. And I was like,
he
good
plays a
call.
really good villain.
He really does. He's the fucking
Yeah.
lizard king. He knows what he's doing. Tell me you get that reference. You do.
You sure?
I can't with you. Oh my
What
god.
what is this I've not watched?
Oh, it's from The Office. Are you serious?
Oh yes. Sorry, yes. Thingy. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just not getting the reference.
I almost
My
just had to
brain's not switched
leave.
on.
Just letting
Yes.
you know. I
Yeah,
almost
he's
had to just
he's
like
the
leave.
he's a really awful
He's the
like boss
boss.
that like takes over like regional level, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Takes
yeah,
over for Michael
yeah.
Scott. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um wow. Okay. I'm still recovering. It's okay. We'll move forward to the meet cute or meet creep meter.
Ugh.
It's just
This
there's
is
no
bad.
getting out of it being red flag city. Like, is there anything that anyone does that is good?
No.
Yeah, it's so
I
bad.
just the thing is though,
Yeah.
I did enjoy this film more than Merv.
Sure. I mean, I can
But
move it. I can
on
move it ahead
this,
of
mm,
Merv on the
yeah,
on the.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is absolutely in Red Flag City, and I know this isn't the metric of like which is a better film, but just my gut is like, oh,
No, I think at the
keep it
very
away.
least there's more. Okay, there's more chemistry, I would say, because Andy and Blaine are both boring, but they're boring together. The kisses weren't
Yeah,
atrocious, and I
it
feel like
makes more
Andy and
sense
Ducky
in
had
their
some.
personalities.
Yeah, I think there's more chemistry, which is what I'm looking for, and the fact that they're also in high school, so like their actions are more forgivable. I feel like.
Yes.
Listen, I will justify it anyway. Any way I can, and not a fucking Merv
They're
at the
not.
top of this.
If they had bought a dog to try and fix their problems, absolutely. Like it'd
Yeah,
be down in that like the depths of Merville. But yeah, I mean, I think they get a slight little
yeah,
forgiveness for being stupid and young.
so funny. Um, I just can't. It's just. Oh yeah, yeah.
It's just
We're scraping the bottom. Okay, now let's move on to the best in showmance. This is where things I think are gonna get interesting.
yeah.
Because like I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It's not good. I wanted it to be better than it was, and it wasn't good. Um, okay, let me think this through. I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed Merv. I think partly because and Merv had a dog in it. That's how bad Merv was. Partly there was a dog in Pretty Pig actually too. Partly because I think the time capsule of it all, I think the outfits, the right, like I think the fashion is like not always good, but it's interesting to look at. I
Hmm.
also think I enjoyed Iona and Ducky more than I enjoyed any characters in Merv. So I think it has that going for it. But I don't think it's even remotely close to the wrong Paris. Like that's where we're going. Like it is between Merv and the wrong Paris in my brain. And so I think ultimately I'm gonna call it what did I give Merv? A 2? I think I'm gonna call it a 2.5. I don't think it's very good. And
Wow.
it stinks to say that because I like Molly Ringwald. I just think like in the grand scheme of John Hughes, Molly Ringwald joints, this is not it, you know?
Hmm. Yeah.
What about you, Stuart?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a similar kind of pickle in the sense of, I mean, I'm as with you, Merv is my lowest rated.
Mhm.
I will, I have taste, therefore, the wrong Paris is quite high up on my rankings. So my next highest is Say Anything. Um,
Right.
and I was thinking, like, it's interesting the like the two 80s picks I think are like in mine vying for contention of like kind of I think they're close.
Mhm.
Now, is that because I scored Say Anything a little too high? Yes.
Yeah. It was the first one. You're getting your bearings,
Yeah.
you know?
But on reflection, I kind of look back at Say Anything and like, yeah, it had its problems, but I feel like it was a much better watch of a film.
Mhm.
Like I feel like it flowed a little bit, a little long, but
Sure, this
it,
one, the runtime was good on this one. So we can give it
yeah,
that.
didn't feel it at some points though. I was a bit Judge Judying. I was like, come on, let's get this going. There's only so much of Molly Ringwald looking sad that I can tolerate.
Yeah.
Um, even though she's wonderful. So yeah, I think that Say Anything is a much easier watch. I think it's much more rootable for the romance, despite again problems there. I think Lloyd is a so much more like likable character.
It's true.
It's got
Yeah.
much better jokes. Certainly, so much more calm than this. Like Molly Ringwald brings zero calm at all. It's
Mhm.
all John Cryer. It's the only real comedy in this entire film that's been carried by one character, whereas the
Yeah.
others have like funny moments the whole way through. And if I'm judging this as a rom com, I have to take it lower than Say Anything, which I think is not where I was going to go when I first did this. Because I was like,
Yeah.
on reflection, it's actually not that bad a film. I'm going to give it 3.5, which feels which feels really bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go that low for it because it's not better than Say Anything, and I did not think I would ever say that of a John
Yeah.
Hughes film. Like, it's
Yeah.
so strange going back to these, and seeing how kind of like thoughts change and perspectives on them. And I
Yeah.
feel, I don't know, I feel as if I've done a disservice to the 80s with my pick here because we could have redeemed it. Because Say Anything, it wasn't that great.
I think
And there
what
were
we're
so
learning
much better
though
contenders.
I think what we're learning though is that like the 80s stuff just doesn't always hold up well,
Yeah.
right? Like that is it's a product of its time. And it's unfortunate because neither of our 80s movies scored very well. We're both the highest on 10 Things I Hate About You, which is obviously from the 90s. I think the aughts performed admirably. I don't think they're like that problematic. You hate
Okay.
The Holiday, and that was felt in your scoring. Um,
It's perhaps a bit
but
harsh on it, but
yeah, I think a modern day film like Merv struggles because things have been done so time and time again, right? Like almost
Mhm.
every rom-com has been told at this point. So beyond the lack of chemistry and all the other issues that film had, uh I just think like it's the wrong pair is the reason it's so fun and it stands out against some of these others is like it's sticky and it leans in and not
Yeah.
every one of these does that. So,
I
I
feel
don't know.
I feel like we've gone to like through a point where like I feel like the 80s, 90s, even the noughties, they're on cruise control when it comes to what is a rom-com.
Mhm.
Whereas when you get into the 2010s, 2020s, you you have to start reinventing what it is. Like you
Yeah.
have to really reevaluate and try and give audiences something new. Thus, we get things like Easy A, which is a big swing in terms of like, self-referential, very of the times. And then you also get things like The Wrong Paris, which again, big swing in terms of like mocking itself and like being a bit of a joke kind of film. But sadly, you do get things like Merv then, which I will take as a big swing because I mean, if you put it on paper, I mean, like dog is depressed. No one's ever thought to make a rom com about that, right? So it's
Yeah.
a big swing. So I have to give it some credit for like that being admirable. It just
Sure.
doesn't execute well, and it's something that more modern films just have it tougher because they have so much more to compete with. They have so much like and that's not just in terms of like the history of like everything that's come before. They have, different streaming platforms. Hallmark are removing God knows how many rom-coms every single weekend, I'm
Yeah.
sure it seems, on whatever streaming things they've got. So you've got like I span attention, like kind of like you're competing with as well. Um, so you're gonna have stinkers like Merv, and people like us are gonna like target it and take the piss out of it as much as we can.
Yeah, seriously.
But yeah, but like when you come back to the 80s and you get something like this, and we start scrutinizing it under, I think, more scrutiny than what we did the more modern ones.
'Cause it's a John Hughes movie, like, it's just
Yeah,
it has the, like I don't know if cachet is the word, it just has, like, the John Hughes, it's
yeah,
supposed to be good. It has Molly Ringwald, it has John Cryer, like, it's supposed to be good. Merv feels like a fucking joke, like, before same with The Wrong Paris, right? Like, it feels like a joke. Um,
hmm,
Pretty in Pink, I think we take it and it has just the notoriety that I think some of these other ones don't have. And so yeah, I think it ends up falling a little flat, being a little disappointing. But
hmm,
a lot of it I think is also just our how we're viewing these things now, right? Like we don't want women to end up with shitty men. It's just we don't find stalking cute or adorable. I think our standards are a little different. And I also
yeah,
think like a pretty face doesn't do you know what I mean? You need the chemistry, you need the like the wit, the personality that I don't think Blane had at the very least.
yeah.
And I think Molly Ringwald's tough because I do think she has personality. I do think, but I think she's a soft personality. And up against
Yeah.
Blane, it's just much of the same.
Yeah, I think a lot of our strengths, which are displayed so well in The Breakfast Club, are shown in contrast to obviously, God, I can't remember his
I
name,
don't know his
but
name either. Yeah.
yeah, like it's always in contrast. Whereas this, she's playing against the mirror
Bender.
of her.
That's it.
Yeah, like
Hardly
the
know.
whole like she needs something to bounce off of. And yeah, this just isn't it. This is why you don't let actors do casting. This is why you have casting directors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let people do their jobs.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Would you like
Molly Ringwald, if you're listening, which you are not.
she's definitely listening. Overall, so on average, your average score was 7.13.
That's pretty high.
It's pretty high. And I will say we're almost in lockstep. Mine is an 8.50. So
Oh
like we're
wow.
not that different. Yeah. It's not that big of a difference.
Interesting.
So
The
yeah,
wonders
that's
of the wrong Paris bumping mine up and
so true though. But that's kind of our experiment. That's our season 1. And like we want to know. We're obviously going to take some time, but if you have suggestions for what we should do for a season 2, other themes, other ideas, send them in. You know how to hit us up. You had Meat Pod, of course.
Yeah.
We actually had a friend the other day reach out and say, "I've been listening to Meat Pod," and it killed me that it is like in the zeitgeist that it's just called Meat Pod.
So stupid. I feel like I should refer to the listeners as our little meaties.
Our little meat podlings. Yeah, little meaties.
Our little
sausage
charcuteries.
snacks.
Our little charcuteries. Cuties.
Our charcuteries.
Cuties.
That's so great. Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's our season 1, Stuart.
Wow. Season 1 in the bang. Yeah, we haven't, as you mentioned, no real idea of what to do for season 2. So if you've got any suggestions, we really would appreciate them. But like, I think this experiment in rom-coms has been interesting. Like, I love the fact that we've gone like through the decades and we've been able to really compare them. I feel like we got good data out of it. I mean, who doesn't love a good bit of data?
I think I've also kind of learned that I didn't learn this. I already knew it. I don't love movies as much as I love TV. Like, I knew this.
Yeah.
But like, I love TV in a way that I just will never love movies. And I understand the argument for like, you get an hour and a half to 2 hours, the whole story is wrapped up, blah, la, la. The amount of times I have had this conversation with my husband of, hey, do you want to watch a movie? And I'm like, I don't really feeling it, but I'll watch like 7 episodes of a television show right now.
Yeah. It's just such a different level of pacing. You get to explore things in much more detail.
Yeah.
And like, it's so strange. A movie feels like a commitment, whereas like, just one more episode, it's like so much easier. And I think covering from a podcast perspective as well, like there have been times where like I tend to watch these immediately after finishing work and then before we record, so it's like fresh in the mind kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, if I did that with Schitt's Creek, I could bang that out like half hour before. Like, incredible. Now I've got to dedicate 2+ hours sometimes.
Yeah.
Outrageous.
And we're only doing it every other week, but also it's a movie. It just feels long. I don't know.
Oh, it's so tough doing this job. Oh, God.
My butt hurts from sitting in my chair. No, it's fine. But if you do have suggestions, please do send them in. You had Meat Pod. You know where to hit us up. We have a link tree. It's a whole thing. Because we want to know. And we do have something cooking behind the scenes that is different, very different than this, I would say. We'll definitely put something out in the feed once we have more, but we're in the process of recording. It is going to be an editing labor of love, though, so much different than this, which is kind of just slap an intro and outro on it and out it goes.
Yeah. As we started working on it, we've done some recording of it, and let's just say I downloaded all the files for it, and I was like, where's all my storage gone? I now have to edit this.
You got to get that extra, what is it, SSD? I don't know what I have, but I have a lot of extra storage now.
SSD.
Once I got up the courage to open my computer up, which was, I put it off for months. I was so scared. I didn't want to open it. It's terrifying to me. I'm going to break something.
Yeah. Hearing the horror story that was you trying to put that drive into your computer just gave me just nightmares.
And in such a me move, at some point in the past, I had already done this, and I had an extra one in there. And I wish I could understand my brain. If someone could scan my brain and just be like, this is why you are this way, I would appreciate it, because there's nothing happening up here. Like, there's everything happening up here and simultaneous, just like nothing happening, you know? Like, things just shoot out of my brain to be lost to the world, never found again.
Let's just be thankful that you're not the mysterious guy who doesn't talk with nothing going on in the brain.
Yes, but I had so many crushes on that guy. Like, I can't tell you. My entire high school existence was like, but that guy's so deep and mysterious.
Look
at him.
About? He's just thinking, did I install that drive into my computer?
No, he definitely was thinking, I can't wait until school is done so I can go smoke pot. Like 1000%. Like, for me, it was like the skater kids. Like the skater kids who were quiet.
The mysterious skater kids.
Kids. Yeah. Partly probably influenced by Avril Lavigne, not gonna lie. But also
said to you later, boy.
Yeah, really was like, look at him. He's so quiet and mysterious. Like, can I tell you? Did I tell you? I think I said this somewhere, so you may be hearing this for a second time. You know who gives me big, like, no thoughts, head empty, but everyone loves him and thinks he's mysterious? You know who gives me this energy, big time?
I don't want to say names in case I offend someone.
Oh, but no, it says it's a reality TV person, not an actual person. Rob Roush from the Traitors. He gives big, like, he loves snakes, like that's his thing. But beyond snake facts, there's nothing happening up there. It's just snake facts, and that's it. And everyone's like, look at him, he's so hot.
It's why he was so good at the Traitors. He had so much like spare computational power just like to draw upon. Yeah.
I just really think that, and all love to him, you know. I just think like he likes snakes, and that's all that's going on. Like, he just really likes them. And it's just like, well, okay. And he likes overalls. Like, can we please have higher standards, women? Can we as a species just agree that we should have higher standards than a hot guy in overalls who likes snakes? I don't mean to be rude, but come on.
Are you talking about women or just Mora?
Her too. Girl, she's so hot. She could get anybody. She wore like full on latex, like a whole ass latex outfit. Like, get it, girl. You know, come on.
In those gloves, like with her skinny little arms, like as
like
if she's
covering
a
her
doll
mouth.
covering her mouth. It's just iconic.
Yeah. I just think we need to, as a species, we need higher standards. Okay. And like, listen, maybe that guy is quiet because he's dark and mysterious and broody, but I feel like you're like, you hear like hooves and you think zebras. You know what I mean? I feel like 10% of the time, maybe that's true, but like 90% of the time, it's just a fucking horse. Okay. Like,
it's not a common phrase. I've never heard that before.
Oh yeah, that's a thing. It's like a oh, I hear hooves and I think zebras. It's like, no, it's probably just a fucking horse. Like, what are the chances it's a zebra or a zebra? Sorry, a zebra.
Oh, translation.
Now you know.
Yeah.
Now you get it. Yeah. Anyway, we've gotten off. I don't even know how we landed here.
Have.
How did we get here? ADHD?
You installing a hard drive got us onto the Traitors.
I've said this before and I'll say it again. I just need to send these podcasts to my doctor as proof of ADHD. Enough with the testing. Just watch this.
No, because they're going to go, yeah, you need to go away from the enabler that is your podcast co-host.
Also, you've been diagnosed with 7 other mental health issues in the course of one podcast. I don't know. Recently, you said the whole world is sad and it's, hopeless. Maybe you're also depressed. Anyway, joke's on you. That's already in my chart. Anyway, okay. I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. I really think I should
No,
leave now.
we're really struggling. We have no outro. We have no like real quotes
No.
from this film. There's nothing to quote. This
You know
film is
what?
atrocious for
There's
that.
nothing to quote here. I did love John Cryer when he gets thrown into the women's bathroom saying, "We don't have a candy machine in our bathroom."
That was really funny. Yeah, we'll
And
give
it was
him that.
improv too. That wasn't
Probably
even in
was
script.
it? Oh,
Yep, good on him.
nice of there to be some calm in this rom-com.
Exactly.
And
Well,
we're back onto the film.
there we go.
are.
You know what? Until season 2, everyone, our little charcuties stay meaty. Bye.